Everybody, guess what? We have Nick with us from Yacht Rock Revue. That's a lot to say. Did you do that on purpose? That's a lot to say really fast.
So many words and so little space in your mouth for those words. And listen, it's on purpose as far as you know.
Oh, it's on purpose. Okay, just thought I would check. Hey, you guys are coming to FirstBank this weekend with Train and REO Speedwagon. Wow, that's a big lineup. Tell me about that.
Man, it's been so crazy being on tour with two legends like these bands. I mean, the number of hits that these guys have in their back pocket is just insane. And both bands are so good and so nice. It's like you hear horror stories about touring, and
Yeah.
our experience has been the opposite. Like both bands are awesome, the crews are awesome, they sound great. It's been incredible.
You know, I feel like this summer, especially, we've seen a lot of bands touring like Def Leppard and Journey, and all of those have come back out this summer. So I feel like you guys are just adding to the collection of bands we can see this summer.
Man, it's to even be mentioned in the same sentence as Train and REO Speedwagon is amazing, much less to actually be on shows with them. So, I mean, I'll take it.
And then last year, you guys were out on tour with Kenny Loggins, right?
We were, yeah, we did Franklin with Kenny Loggins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're coming back.
that's right. Yeah, it's
So
gonna be great.
you was at FirstBank last year too, right? Wasn't it?
It was. There were some storms coming through, so I think we got to play like 4 songs.
Oh.
But it was still really awesome. My parents were there. My parents got to see me play with Kenny Loggins there. It was legendary.
So you're familiar with FirstBank. Tell us, as a traveling musician, how do you feel about our amphitheater here?
It's kind of like the Red Rocks of the East. It's so like epic. It's such a vibe there. Man, we had a great time just playing it that once. Even though we only got to do a few songs, it was really, really cool.
So hopefully, I don't see any rain this weekend, so you should be able to do the whole set.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's talk about yacht rock. I know you've been asked this before, but I feel like that genre, or is it? It's really kind of become its own little genre. It's become so popular in the last at least 5 years or so. Do you feel the same about that?
We've been doing it for 17, so I would say my timeline is probably different than yours. But yes, in general, it's been wild and it's been cool. You know, I like to think that we're a part of the reason. You know, we've been out on the road doing this for 17 years, and the kind of popularity of the genre has risen with the popularity of our band. You know, when we started out, we were playing the Mercy Lounge down in Nashville for like 200 people, and now we're playing FirstBank with REO and Train. So I'd like to think we had something to do with it.
Yeah, that's right. You added to the popularity. And then your set includes so many interesting songs. Talk us through. I know you only got to do 4 last time you were in town, but talk us through some of the other things people might hear this weekend.
Man, it's like the greatest hits from the dentist office is what you're gonna it's gonna be, you know, your Michael McDonald, your Kenny Loggins, and your Steely Dan, and your Hall & Oates, you know, all of those things. But the great thing is, because we're not a tribute to one specific band, we have the freedom to choose from thousands of songs. So, you know, we can throw in some Jerry Rafferty or some Robbie Dupree, or, you know, even go a little bit outside the genre and do Boston or Queen. You know, there's always going to be a surprise in the set list, in addition to, you know, you're going to hear Africa by Toto.
Oh, one of my favorites.
It's a good song. There's a reason it has billions of streams.
And that's impressive. And actually, you mentioned Hall & Oates. John Oates lives here, and I know you've performed with him on stage before. Is there a possibility you might have a special guest?
Oh man, I wish. If you can put a word in for us with John, that would be awesome. He was phenomenal the time that we got to perform with him, and we would love to do it again, obviously.
Well, it's Nashville. You never know. You never know who's going to be there or what possibilities could come up. You know, and talking about music and the people that you cover, you guys have your own music. You've released an album. Well, more than one, but
yeah, our new album is called Escape Artist, and it's kind of about this idea that we're going around the country providing this escape for people. And, you know, imagine like what they're escaping from or what they're escaping to. And so it's this big double concept album of songs about escape, and it's really fun. We love doing it.
Yeah, I listened to, I think there's only 2 that are officially released, right? Sail On? Is that the title?
Sail On and Waves are both out, and Tropical Illusion is another single that's out.
So, you're right, it gives that, it has that very vibey sound. Was that on purpose, or were you
Yeah, I mean, some of it just comes naturally from having done yacht rock for 17 years. Like
Yeah,
that style of playing and that genre of music is kind of like ingrained itself in our DNA. But when we went into the studio, we didn't say, "Oh, we're going to make a song that's going to sound like Steely Dan and another song that's going to sound like Hall and Oates." We just kind of went in with songs that we thought were good, and the way it all came together was very organic. And I think that that is kind of what gives it that easygoing kind of vibe. If we were too intentional and precious about it, then it wouldn't have that same energy and vibe that we were looking for.
yeah. That's interesting that you kinda created something that you're already doing. Like, that kinda just came naturally for you guys.
The layers of onion of weirdness that is the career of the Yacht Rock Revue, you can keep folding them back. There are many.
So I feel like possibility, this could become a new classic. Like, we may hear this at the grocery store next year.
Oh, if somebody could be getting a filling and listening to one of my songs, I would feel like I had made it. Like that, then I've really done it.
They
I've talked to Robbie Dupree about this. Like, he has the one song "Steal Away" that has really connected with people. And I asked him, do you ever get tired of that song? He's like, no, the magic of that connecting with people still gives me life, 40 or 50 years later. And like that's what I'm grasping after, like a song that can connect with people in that same way.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. And I also feel like it's not set to I feel like lately, if you go to some concerts, the age bracket of people that are there is very distinct because of these bands are a little bit older, but I feel like your music is kind of, across all ages, like, it doesn't feel like it's more just a certain, category of people.
It's cool with the parents, cool with the friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
That's how we like to do it. It is cool to see young kids who are getting into these old songs for the first time, or even some who are into songs from our first album or these new songs who aren't even as familiar with the covers. Like it's crazy to see that in the audience too, and it really gives us a lot of energy, to be appreciated in that different way.
Yeah. Do people ever consider you guys a tribute band?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, generally that's what people would call us. I'd like to think that we've transcended that
Yeah,
category,
yeah,
but generally, that's what it is.
yeah. But I feel like it's beyond that. Like, I feel like you guys have moved beyond just a tribute band.
Right. I don't think REO Speedwagon and Train would have us on tour if we were just a tribute band. So,
Yeah, yeah. So do you play any of their songs? Is that like a no-no? You're like, "I cannot play an REO or Speedwagon song since you're
certainly
there."
not when they're on the bill.
Yeah,
You can't play Roll with the Changes before REO comes out. But we do play some REO songs from time to time when we're not on a show with REO Speedwagon. Train is a little too late, like their
yeah,
first hits were in the mid to late 90s, so they
right.
don't really fit in with the yacht rock genre. Although we have done some yacht rock songs sitting in with Train, so that kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright. Well, this Sunday, I heard there's still a few tickets available. Come out. Show starts at 6:30?
6:30. We're on early.
Early.
It's still daylight when we're out there. We'll get your party started right, I promise.
And then you can hear the other bands, but it's worth coming early. I know sometimes people don't always come early to hear the opening bands, but this is worth it this time for sure.
Definitely. Please do it, Franklin.
I hope you get your whole set out this time, but it looks good. It looks promising.
I'd
Maybe
be re
hot, but there's no rain.
There's been a lot of heat this summer. We can handle that. We just don't want any more rainouts, and that's not gonna happen in Franklin for sure.
Exactly. Hey, it's great to catch up with you. We'll see you this weekend.
Cool. Thanks for talking.